Hey everybody, so this is going to be my must-have products for breastfeeding. And I do have my little peanut down here, little Cassidy. So if you hear little squeaks and squawks, it's because she's in my arms down here. So yeah, I'm just going to do this video about the things that really help me with breastfeeding, especially this time around. Obviously it's going to be different for each person, but I thought this video would be helpful for those who are first-time moms, just things to think about if you're planning on breastfeeding. So yes. The first thing is actually I've had to use this more with this baby than any other baby, and that is nipple creams. Definitely the first time you have a kid, your nipples are going to be a little bit more sore, chapped, maybe even crack and bleed because they're just not used to it. But especially because I had a small baby, and a lot of what I'm going to talk about pertains to me having a small baby, it caused some issues with my nipples, so I really had to rely on creams a lot. There are two that I use primarily. This first one I used all the time, every time she fed, anytime I thought about it, after a shower, whatever. This is the Honest Company Organic Nipple Balm, and I really liked this. I felt like it was very hydrating, very soothing, and at the same time it's all organic ingredients, so I didn't feel like the need to wipe it off prior to feeding her each time. Which the other one, I asked my midwives and they said you didn't have to, but it still made me a little bit anxious. Like I still decided to wipe the second one off, just to be sure. The second one is actually an antibiotic nipple lotion, and I just have a little bit in a container that my midwives gave me. I'm sure you can get it from your midwives, your doctors, whatever. If you're really dealing with some damage, I would definitely ask around for a stronger ointment. Medela has one that you can buy over the counter that I've heard is pretty good as well, but again, ask your doctor and midwife if you're really dealing with that. They should have something with stronger antibiotics in it. Should help clear it up really quick. So that's definitely a must-have this time around. Next product is my trusty boppy. Here it is here. I've had the same boppy for all three kids, held up really great. I love this thing. It really helps support your arms and the baby, the weight of the baby when you're feeding them. You can use it not just for feeding, but for, you know, propping them up later as they get bigger and things like that. My husband uses it when he's just rocking her to support the weight of his arms as well. Because she is so small, I've had to rely more on my arms than the boppy, but I know as she gets bigger, I will be using this constantly. So whether it be a boppy or just a pillow, just some kind of support for your arms I think is absolutely necessary. The next item, I actually, again, it's a first in this with this baby that I've really had to use these, and that's breast pads. I have the ones, these are the disposable ones here from Lancino. And again, I've had these since my first kid because I thought I would need them, and you really don't know if you're going to need them until you breastfeed for the first time and you figure out if your breasts leak at all. You just really don't know until you do that. I also have the reusable type that I have yet to break out of the package. These are from Fuzzy Buns, I believe. Yeah, Fuzzy Buns. So there's definitely reusable cloth ones that you can use. And yeah, I don't know why. I'm thinking because she's a small baby, she's not eating as much as the other kids, and therefore I have this oversupply. But at nighttime, as soon as she latches, or even my milk will just randomly let down, it's a mess. So I would definitely invest in some of these, even if you don't know if you leak or not yet, just so you had them on hand. I think those would be super important. All right, when it comes to clothing, I don't think it's super important to go out and buy a whole bunch of nursing specific clothing pieces. I think it's nice to have, you know, maybe one or two for if you're going somewhere special and you want to have a specific shirt that does that. Great. I'm actually wearing one right now. I'll try and show you. It's just black. It's got like the longer sleeves here, and then that's actually where it pulls open. I don't know if I can show you, but the armpit pulls down and it can pull over that way. And so it's easy access that way, but it looks like a regular shirt. So I do have a couple of those, but for the most part, I just wear, you know, cheap camisoles or tank tops underneath whatever regular shirt I'm wearing. And then when I go to nurse, I just lift up my regular shirt and pull down the neckline of the tank top. That's why I say cheap, because you can end up stretching out the neckline, but I don't really care with these tank tops. So that way when I'm nursing, my side is protected, so it's not like I'm lifting up my shirt and my whole belly is showing. And then I have my shirt on top, so I've got a little bit of coverage up here. So I feel comfortable nursing that way in most places. I do, however, rely on a cover for certain situations. It just depends what you feel comfortable with, whether or not you want to use a cover. Funny enough, usually around family members is when I use the cover the most, especially male family members, just so I don't make them feel awkward. But this one's my favorite by far. I still need to do a review on it. This is what it looks like, and the reason it's my favorite is because it has two rims on it. There's this rim up here, and then the rim below. So when you're feeding, it doesn't collapse, that top rim. You can see straight down, and yet nobody else can see. And this one is by Booby Trapper. Funny name. Sorry, I have a baby in one hand, that's why. So that one's by Booby Trapper. I have lots of different covers. This one's just my favorite. So yeah, I don't think a cover is essential, but if you feel more comfortable, definitely. And then nursing bras, my favorite by far is the brand Bravado. And I have one here to show you. So that's what it looks like there, Bravado. This is a purple one, and this is the type that doesn't have the like a lot of structure to it, but it still has really good support. That's why I really like these. I would suggest, if you're wanting to buy more than one, buy one in a larger size. I used this while I was engorged, while I was in the hospital. I still use this one at night because it's just more comfortable. It's bigger. This one's a size large, and then the one that I'm wearing right now is a size medium, and I wear this throughout the day, and it's just more of a proper fit. So I don't know, I like having one of each. I do have the Bravado bras that have the more contour to them as well, and I like those as well. Anything from Bravado, honestly, their nursing tanks are fabulous. I would highly recommend that line. The last item as far as clothing goes, again, not a necessity, definitely not a must-have, but for myself a must-have. I've been loving it. It's a pair of nursing pajamas. Again, really hard to show you. They're just black. If you watched my sister's meeting for the first time video, then you saw me wearing them in the hospital, and this is the brand Pajamas, and they're just a shirt where I can pull the sides over really easily, and they came with like pajama capri pants. They're very, very comfortable, super easy access, and yeah, I'm just a little splurge that I think it's definitely worth it. Alright, this next item is definitely not for everybody, but I would encourage you, if you're a first-time mom, to, this can sound weird, take a look at your nipples. Assess whether or not they stick out, or are they flat, or are they inverted. Some people's nipples invert, and that's something I never really thought to look into before I had my first kid. I just assumed everybody's nipples look like that. I dealt with flat nipples, and it was extremely hard to nurse my first child. I had to use Nipple Shields. Again, something you might consider a must-have if that's something that you're dealing with. I don't consider it a must-have this time around because of this product. And this one actually was sent to me. It's very similar to the one I've used in the past. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it if you've watched me in the past. There's a brand called the Avent Nipplet, and it's something you can use prior to pregnancy or during pregnancy up till the 3rd trimester, and it helps draw out your nipples so that you're ready to nurse when baby is born. This one's called Nipple Aid. It looks like that. I plan to do a review on this one as well. It's very similar. It's like a little thumbnail cup that you put on your nipple, and then you draw this syringe thing out that kind of draws your nipple into it and helps it keep its shape, basically. Now, after nursing my second daughter for a year, I really didn't need this. I brought it to the hospital anyways because I knew I wouldn't have a big issue, but surprisingly I did, I guess because my milk started to come in and whatnot. My left side, I ended up using it right before latching her on, and she latched on better because it just kind of got everything ready, if that makes sense. Again, I'll do a whole review on it, but if you figure out that you do have flat or inverted nipples, definitely look into a product like this. Alright, last couple of products. The next being my pump. This is the Medela Pump and Style Advanced. It's the double breast pump backpack, and I've had it for a long time now. They are quite a bit of investment in the beginning, but they do last forever. They are definitely workhorses. Again, if you want to look on Craigslist, I know you can find them on Craigslist as well. And if you're wondering whether or not you need a pump, in my opinion, you definitely need at least a single pump, at least some method of pumping, because when you get engorged, or if your supply is a lot bigger than it needs to be, or if baby sleeps a really long stretch all of a sudden and you're just super uncomfortable, or again, if you just want to pump milk to have some on hand in case somebody else needs to feed your baby, priceless. Like, I would definitely recommend getting some sort of pump. And then to store the milk, my favorite breast milk storage bags are the Lancino brand. I like these because they have the double ziplock on the inside, whereas the Medela only has the one ziplock, and I just feel like they're easier to close and they're a bit bigger than the Medela ones. So those are definitely my favorite. I just label them and put the date and how many ounces are in there, and then stick it in the freezer. All right, and then my last must-have is what I'm calling partner support. Definitely, especially in those first few days when baby is cluster feeding, and then again that happens around 3 weeks and happens a bunch of times. It becomes really tiresome. It can go on all night long, to be honest. Not every baby does it, but cluster feeding in particular can be really challenging. And even if you're dealing with nipple issues, breastfeeding can be hard work in the beginning, and to have the support of, you know, your husband, your partner, whatever it may be, your mom, somebody there to just kind of help you in between when baby is feeding, support you and encourage you and help you catch up on sleep when possible is huge. Definitely a must-have. So yeah, those are my must-have products for breastfeeding. If you have any that you'd like to add, leave them in a comment down below. And I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.